Twitter, now known as X.
Twitter has rebranded to literally just X.
Owner Elon Musk changed the iconic bird logo to the letter X.
Twitter is on life support.
Twitter to X.
Less recognizable in X.
An X.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Alright guys, let's be real. Nobody's gonna call Twitter X. I don't call it X, and frankly, if anybody calls it X in front of me, I'm gonna be the first person to tell them, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's be real. X is just a ridiculous name. I mean, it's like if you were to rename Google. It makes no sense, and I don't understand to this day why Elon Musk felt like X was such a good name for it. It makes no sense to me, and I don't think I'll ever understand it, but I digress. Ever since he bought X in 2022, I just feel like this company has just gone further and further downhill, and it's like they don't even know what they're doing, and it's a sinking ship. It's like the Titanic. They don't even know how to save it at this point. All the compartments are filling up, and they have no clue how to fix anything, and it's just sinking, and we're all just watching in horror as everybody's dying and rats are jumping off the ship. I think a big sign that the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk was gonna go bad was the fact that he kind of did it as a joke almost. Like, I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I feel like he just like tweeted or talked about maybe buying it as a joke or something like that, and then he ended up actually buying a lot of shares for it, and then he ended up actually buying it, and I don't remember all the details from it, but I'm pretty sure it was something that was super messy back when it was happening. If I remember correctly, I feel like he was almost forced into buying it. Like there was something that happened and he was just not actually wanting to go through with the deal, so he was kind of forced into buying the whole company. And I don't know, maybe he's just trying to take it on purpose, just out of revenge. Honestly, I feel like the way Elon Musk's perception in society has changed ever since he bought Twitter has been something really weird to observe, because I think like everybody that was on the internet before he bought Twitter, and I felt like he had a very positive perception online. Like he used to be really like affirming and accepting. Like I feel like he used to be pretty leftist and pretty like open-minded about stuff. Not to mention people were absolutely drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, I really thought that with SpaceX and like that thing where he was gonna have like an underground railroad or something, I don't remember. I probably said that wrong, but whatever. I really felt like this guy knew what he was doing. I thought he was such a cool businessman, and now, definitely not. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. I remember my uncle even used to love Elon Musk, and now he kind of just doesn't really like him anymore, especially after what happened with Twitter. And I gotta be honest, it's really jarring seeing the conservative shift. I mean, if you look at how he just retweets random conservative stuff on Twitter that is just like the worst imaginable thing, and he'll come up with like okay or LOL or wow, and he'll boost that into the algorithm. And I don't understand this guy. Like I don't understand why he just switched to this, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything about the origins of Twitter, because I only just made an account in November 2022, which was a little bit after he actually bought it. So I didn't really live through the golden ages, so to speak, of Twitter, but I have a little bit of a sense of what it was like before he bought it. That being said, I did have it when the bird was still the main logo, and I had it before it turned to X, and I had it before Twitter Blue and all that stuff. Speaking of Twitter Blue, let's kind of talk about why that was super messy and why it doesn't really make sense. So if you guys aren't familiar, Twitter Blue or X Blue, or I think it's called X Premium now, is basically their subscription program. So it basically gives you a blue check mark, which used to mean that you're verified, but that's another point I'll make later. But it gives you a blue check mark. It gives you increased visibility in the algorithm. So if you have the check mark, that means your tweets are going to be boosted up in comment section. They're going to be boosted, and when people look at your stuff in general, you'll have a much better chance at getting your stuff seen and heard if you have Twitter Blue. And I believe you have to pay $8 a month for it, and you also can get payouts. As of I think about a year ago or so, you can actually now get paid for your tweets, which is why I think another reason why this platform really sucks now, but you know, I digress. But I think the main thing that makes Twitter Blue really messy was the rollout. The rollout was just the worst, like the messiest thing I've ever seen. I still think of how when they rolled it out, there was someone who made a fake Twitter account of the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly and tweeted that insulin was free now, and then that tanked their stock price, which honestly goes to show how sad the state of American healthcare is. But you know, I think it's a pretty good example of how messy this is. Like the idea that something that used to mean something, a blue check mark used to mean you were an official source that real information is coming from. Now, it just means you paid $8 a month to have the same outlook as everybody else, like celebrities, journalists, or businesses that actually have real accounts. You just have the same level. You're on the same level as them. And that's honestly kind of insane, and I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Well, I do know, but we're going to talk about him later more. It really doesn't make sense to me because I don't understand why anybody would pay $8 a month to have their stuff boosted. And I get it. Well, actually, I can't say that I don't get it, but I really just didn't really understand why people were doing that, especially at the beginning before you were getting paid for it. It just made no sense to me. And one thing I found kind of interesting about Twitter Blue and this initial rollout is that there were some celebrities that had been verified and had the blue check mark before that lost their check marks because when they rolled it out, they took away the check marks from everybody and you had to buy it back. And some of them refused to buy it back. I think of Doja Cat in particular, who just refused to buy them back. I think Taylor Swift lost hers and she never bought it back until Elon gave them back to celebrities. And I believe eventually they kind of capitulated to the celebrities that didn't want to buy it and they just gave it back. I know Taylor got hers back at some point. They just gave them back because they realized, it's kind of ridiculous to do that because it makes literally no sense. I think another thing that kind of sucks about Twitter Blue is how it prioritizes people who have the blue check and pushes everybody else down. So you have to get a blue check to have your content seen in any shape. And honestly, the whole blue checkmark thing is so interesting to me because it's just so messy and I feel like it was complicating something that didn't need to be complicated. For instance, it used to be you just had a blue checkmark and I believe there was a silver checkmark before for government, although I could be misremembering that and that could just be a new thing. But as far as I remember, everyone that was important had a blue checkmark and that meant you were looking at somebody's real account. But now they have 3 different checkmarks. They have the blue one, which that's for verified, like as an actual celebrity or verified with Twitter Blue. Then you have the yellow one, which I think is for official companies, and now you have the silver one that's meant for government. And I don't understand all these extra things that they added on because not only does it make everything more complicated, it's like reinventing the wheel. Nobody asked you to do that, and frankly, nobody wanted you to do that. And then this is where I kind of have to dive into something else that I kind of really hate about Twitter now, and it's how bad racial hate speech and misinformation is on there in general. And I gotta be honest, guys, as a black person, it can be really disheartening to just see racist content with hundreds of thousands of likes just in my For You page casually. Nobody really talks about how demoralizing and how saddening it can be to be on social media and just see stuff like that all the time. It's just really saddening. You just get on Twitter and you see someone making fun of the victims of police brutality or whatever, and it's just insane. Or just seeing anti-Semitic stuff. I don't understand how Twitter Blue just turned into a cesspool of stupid people who all want to boost their stupid Nazi opinions. And what's crazy is that the Twitter algorithm basically rewards them for being inflammatory, for being racist, for being homophobic, for being sexist, for being all of that. It basically prioritizes them and it rewards them for that behavior because they literally get paid money. And I feel like this whole Twitter Blue thing and the ideological shift of Twitter in general has just led to things like end wokeness getting a lot of popularity, libs of TikTok, and more of these pages, since now they have blue check marks, they have gained legitimacy because of all the different checks now. And I think because of how insane everything's been, that's why all the advertisers have left. If you've noticed, a lot of major brands aren't even really on there anymore. If you see something marked as an ad, I don't remember the last time I saw a major brand doing an advertisement. And of course you still have your brand accounts, they're still tweeting, but I don't even see those as often anymore. I don't even see legitimate actual brands advertising anything on Twitter. It's just random ads or people buying ads just to say you don't have to see ads or whatever, and it's just insane. And honestly, it's kind of crazy to see how racist garbage has just been normalized, especially as a black person. That can just become so exhausting to look at because it's just, I don't need to be reminded on a daily basis every time I get on my phone how much people hate people like me with my skin color. I don't need to be reminded how people hate people that look like me. It's exhausting to log onto your phone and see every day that people still hate you because of your skin color. And I already get reminded of that enough in real life, but I come to my phone to go on social media to escape all that, and it's just kind of exhausting to see more of the same. And one thing I find kind of ironic about Elon's purchasing of Twitter is he talked about how he wanted free speech and how he was going to crack down on spam and bots, but arguably before his purchase, I did not see that much spam or bots at all, really. I didn't get that much of it, but I feel like it's way worse now. I go to a viral tweet with hundreds of thousands of likes, and I see tweets with one word in them or one letter. They have hundreds of thousands of views, a blue check mark, and one like. Why is this what we're doing? I didn't used to get random bot accounts following me, but now I get them all the time. It's gotten 100 times worse since he bought it, especially because now that you can buy the blue checks and boost your content out, people that create these bots now, not only do they have a financial incentive to go ahead and create spam and bots and AI slop, but now it gets boosted to the top and they make money off of it, which has got to be like the cherry on top of this shit. For instance, you would have someone tweeting something random, some sort of heartwarming video that has nothing to do with the tweet, or it's someone just restating exactly what the tweet says, or you can tell it's just ChatGPT AI slop that's just been added onto there, and it has 100 likes somehow. And you have to scroll through all of the blue checks before you get to all the funny stuff at the bottom. And that is just ridiculous to me. All of the replies now are just polluted by bots with one reply, one like, and hundreds of thousands of views with one word in it, and you just see 10, 20, 30 replies all like that before you get to the actual good stuff. Another thing that I've kind of noticed is how there are tweets you can definitely tell are written by ChatGPT. I think of this one account, Positivity Moon in particular, where its responses, while they're very sweet and very heartwarming sometimes, you can just tell it's written by ChatGPT, and I don't know why people don't seem to be clocking that more. Like, people just kind of act like it's a normal person, I guess, but it's very obviously ChatGPT slop. And that's not even all of why Twitter sucks now. I think a main reason Twitter really sucks now is that it's basically become a place for rage bait and hate, because the more interactions you get, the more quotes, the more replies, the more likes, the more comments you get, the more money you get paid to you by Twitter. And that's really what makes it terrible. Is Twitter used to be a place where people were just kind of talking about their opinions, and if you said something racist or homophobic or ridiculous, you would just shout it down into oblivion and nobody saw it, and you had no likes and 35 comments all telling you to, go off yourself, I guess. But now that it's just constant hate and rage bait, you just get tired of it. And I gotta say, I think the worst thing about Twitter is that it's now given a community to these people that would normally be relegated to the dark corners of the internet into having a public platform where they can spread their hateful ideas and bigotry and get rewarded for it, because you'll have a bunch of other idiots who all do the same thing. How many times do you need to see misinformation to continue using something? How many times do you need to see racism? How many times do you need to see homophobia or sexism? Or how many times do you need to hear someone say that men should be gynecologists before you get sick of it? And I think this is why things like Instagram Reels or Blue Sky have really gotten traction, especially Instagram Reels, although even though that sucked at the beginning, I don't know how much better it is. That being said, I don't know what it's like now, but I think that's why people jump ship so quickly just to try it, because people were so sick of the same old nonsense of just torrent of hate and negativity all the time. Even though Instagram Threads kind of died out, there is one platform that's really gained traction recently, and that's Blue Sky. I haven't really used Blue Sky that much, and it kind of does look like Twitter, so I might try to give that another try, but I'm just having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to bring out what I used to enjoy on my Twitter onto Blue Sky, but I'll try to give that a try and see what that's like. Also, we need to talk about the fact that Elon is just not a good leader. And now I know Linda Yaccarino, or however you say that, is now the CEO, but I don't really believe for a second that she really calls the shots. I think he only did that because of that stupid poll he posted where if a majority of people voted yes for him to step down as CEO, he would appoint somewhere else. And I think that she's really there just for figurative reasons, because I really doubt that she's still the one making any moves, but I could be wrong because I've looked at her Wikipedia page and she's pretty conservative, so maybe she really does agree with Elon and she wants to implement all the things he says, but I doubt she has any real power. To me, she's a figurehead. I think Elon's still the one calling the shots. I think another reason Elon sucks as a leader is that he's constantly giving notice and attention to conservative idiots that are posting racist, sexist, homophobic garbage, and he'll comment wow or LOL or an emoji, and then he'll boost that to hundreds of thousands more people, millions of people even, and he just boosts it. And it just makes the platform worse and worse every time, because how is the face of the platform gonna platform this kind of stuff? Quite frankly, he's tanking the very valuable brand name of Twitter. This guy doesn't know what he was doing. He could honestly, I believe that if he bought Apple or Google, he could tank them tomorrow because the guy doesn't know what he's doing. He just uses his dad's blood money to take over companies and just run them into the ground, apparently. Now, honestly, this is just a stupid social media platform, so either it's gonna stick around or it's gonna go the same way that Google Plus and MySpace did. And it could go to the wayside, but we're gonna have to see. And I guess to kind of wrap it up, how do things change from here? I honestly can't see Twitter coming back to the glory it once was because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. He's already lost advertisers. He's already made the company lose a lot of value. He's already renamed it X. He's already formed X Corp. He's already implemented Twitter Blue. He's already turned it into a conservative cesspool. You can't undo all of those things. I really feel like at this point, we're just all watching the dumpster fire that is Twitter continue to burn. And at some point, I think people are going to have enough. He's gutted that social media platform, and he's honestly going to gut whatever he gets his hands on next. If he really wanted to fix everything, he would basically have to undo everything he's done. And even if they could, Elon and his stupid cronies aren't going to do that. Long story short, Twitter sucks. There's nothing we can really do about it except complain about it on the internet and hope that things change. If not, we're gonna jump ship to another platform. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video. This is the first time I've ever done any sort of long form commentary, so I'm just trying this out to see. Let me know what you want to hear about in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to those ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.